All right, welcome back to Roadster Rants. I'm Adam. This is Dan.
Hello, hello.
And today we're going to talk about the dealerships just being hilariously blind with their advertising,
Out of
or
touch.
tone deaf, or out of
Yeah,
touch tone deaf with
completely
their
out of touch.
advertising. Yeah. As well as California hilariously banning gas cars and then saying don't charge electric cars. Like, pick one. You can't have both. Ugh. You want to start us off?
Sure, man. So, I don't know if you guys have seen these TikToks that these dealers have been releasing, but it's become like a trend. They go around asking their employees in the dealership, "Hey, how big is your car payment? How big is your car payment?" And they all go around, and we've seen a few of them. They were like quoting like $700-800 a month or something like that. But this one particular dealer, they said, here's the big boy version. And they went around to all their employees, and like all their employees had like $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a month car payments. And these
Jeez.
weren't like really high end cars. I mean, they were kind of. I mean, it was obviously a Dodge dealership, because like one person had a Wagoneer, and another person had like a Hellcat and something else. And the thing that immediately like struck me was like, why are you bragging about having a $1,500 a month car payment on like
Yeah.
an $80,000 car?
Yeah.
Like that's like an 11% APR. Like you're bragging about your 580 credit score. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like
Dude, no
it's
kidding,
like
man.
I don't know. Like that's
Well, I mean, it was a Dodge dealership. You know what they say? Well, the numbers on the side of the Dodge is the accurate credit score of
credit
the owner.
score, right? Yeah. But yeah, man, like these guys, like they're just, I don't know how out of touch they like why
The
in what
dealerships are just
universe?
grasping at straws, man. They're a dying breed, and they're trying to grasp at straws, and they have no idea how it works anymore.
Yeah, like it's trying to normalize these ridiculously high payments. It's just no,
Yeah,
it's not cool. It's not cool. I mean, like I buy some expensive cars sometimes too, but it's not. I mean,
yeah,
that's ridiculous. Like it's just no, don't no.
yeah. So I prefer to just buy stuff cash nowadays. It's just like so much easier. Like just like save up and buy it. Like I understand some things you can't,
Hmm.
obviously, but like man, it's just like that's why I'm glad I own my Eclipse outright. It's like I don't have to worry about car payment. I own it. There's BS on it.
Or at least make sure that your interest rate is on
Reasonable.
on
Yeah.
average or below average. Like none of
Yeah.
this 11-12% APR crap. Like don't
Well,
don't
nowadays people
ever do
just
that.
don't even care.
Don't
They
do it.
don't look at it. They don't understand it. Dude, they don't. That's the main problem also. They don't teach this shit in school anymore. Like what an APR even is. Like what an APR percentage even is. They don't teach it in school nowadays. And
Yeah.
so kids with fresh credits, fresh 700 credit scores that their parents have been grooming them for. Because nowadays, what parents, no, this is like the trend nowadays with their rich parents. What they'll do is they'll put their kids under a credit card when they're like 15. Because you can actually
Interesting.
get a credit card when you're 15. And the parents will just buy something for $100, pay it off. Buy something for $100, pay it off. Buy something for $100, pay it off. They'll do this for like 5 years, basically. And then their kid comes out 18 with like a 730 credit score.
That's actually brilliant. I mean, like
It is brilliant. No,
like
it is actually kind of brilliant.
any parents could actually do that. I wish I had thought of that.
Yeah,
That's actually really
it's
smart.
brilliant. Unfortunately, they didn't bother to teach the kid what a credit score actually does. And so the kid just goes, I want a Hellcat. And then they go buy a Hellcat. And they don't understand that they still have to make the payments. And they
Well,
still
I mean,
understand that, yeah.
if you have a 700 credit score, I mean, you should be getting, I don't know what current rates are, but at least like 2.5% maybe, or maybe even
No,
like
but they
three.
don't even
What?
notice. They don't ask what the rating is. So the dealership just goes, ha, okay, here's a 20% interest rate. Literally,
Yeah,
that's what they do
yeah,
nowadays. They don't
and
because they
it's
don't look at the paperwork. Nobody looks at the fine print anymore. Nobody cares. They're just like, "Oh, I want this car. Make it happen. I don't care how you make it happen. Make it happen."
another thing you always got to watch out for too is the in-house dealer financing, because occasionally a dealer can actually get you a lower rate, but usually what's going to happen is the dealer is making money on the interest rate that they're getting from their bank
Yep.
versus what you might get from your bank. So you like it's just as much as you shop around for cars, you got to shop around for loans too. You know, like
Oh yeah.
go to your bank, you go to a credit union. I prefer credit unions, especially
Oh,
for
same.
loans. You know, but also if the dealership wants to try to work a deal with you, you might tell them like, yeah, my credit union gave me 3%. Can you give me 2? And like that's actually sometimes a good negotiating point. How you
Yeah.
can actually get the dealership to come down because they have wiggle room on their financing,
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah, but like it's ridiculous. Like they might get someone for 9% APR or something, but what the loan costed them was probably more like 3, right? So like
Yeah.
that's all profit for the dealer.
It's insane, man. It's just like dealerships are such a scam nowadays.
They really are. They really are. And I mean, it's interesting because I'm actually seeing a lot more people. Oh, here's an interesting thing I heard the other day. You know how there's a big push from all different directions going electric, right? And
Yeah.
GM has said by I think it's like 2038 or something like that, their entire lineup is going to be electric. I might be wrong with that number of the year, but regardless,
Sometime in the future.
they're going. Yes, they said they're going all electric. Well, apparently their luxury brands like Buick and Cadillac and whatnot, they've actually offered to buy out dealerships who don't want to go EV.
Really?
Yeah, and so the intent is for GM to run those dealerships now,
I'm down.
which I know. I actually think this is a great
Yeah.
thing. I think it's a great thing for
Like,
corporate
honest to
to run
God,
the
like
dealerships.
dealerships should be run like, and I almost hate to say it, but this is almost a good guy here, CarMax or like Carvana.
Yeah, kinda.
Both still not very good companies, but they still don't screw you as hard as the dealership does.
I mean, people love CarMax. I think you pay
Yeah.
you can get a better deal somewhere else other than CarMax, but CarMax isn't going to screw you as bad as like other places either.
Yes.
You
No, my
know,
dad, he got
so
he got his F-150 like 6 years ago there, and he loves it. It's a good car, and he got it for a decent price. I will say the 7 years ago, the trade-in that this has been always been the biggest thing. I swear to God, it feels like going to GameStop whenever you trade in a car and whatnot,
yes,
because it's just like, oh, market value is 8 grand. It gets, or no, it's like Pawn Stars, where it's like where the expert comes in. Oh, it's worth $8,000. I got you $1. It's just like, God, man, that's just so depressing. I remember when I went to go trade in my 2017 Chevy Sonic with like 67,000 miles, and this was back in 2018. The car was a year old, and I
yeah,
decided to go for an Abarth. Do you
right.
know how much they wanted to give me for it?
I know what
6 grand.
for on a 1-year-old car. Wow.
One
Okay.
year old car with 60,000 miles. That was, I think, almost 20 grand MSRP. Now, I
Wow.
understand it loses value when it leaves the lot. I understand that. But at the same time, I told them to go pound sand. I was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I was like, no, I want 12, and I want 12 grand, and because it's in excellent condition, I only slightly modified it, but you know,
Well, I mean, like you got to understand like where they make their money from.
Oh, I
It's like
know.
they make some money on markup. Even when it's a buyer's market, right? They still make a little bit of money on markup. But they really make a ton of money from the financing.
oh yeah,
So
oh yeah, they do.
and they
I
they,
just miss the
they get
days when
big mad.
dealerships.
They get big mad
Um,
if you like wait until like the very end to like tell them, oh yeah, I have my own financing.
Oh yeah, they do. It's really funny, dude. There's literal TikToks of that too.
Yeah.
Of like the dealership. Oh, how do you want to finance it? Oh, I have my own financing. The dealerships and whatnot. It's like, why are you doing that? You're just making yourself look like a clown.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I miss the days when dealerships made money off of services, like when you brought your car back in for an oil change or for anything or for any kind of maintenance. Like, man, if the dealerships charge reasonable rates for maintenance, I would take them to the dealership. At least I know it's OEM parts. But
Man,
like,
don't get me started on dealership maintenance. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as it should be. People expect the dealer to be able to be experts, to be like complete and total experts on the cars that they're selling, and to do a better job than anyone else. and they just
Yeah.
don't. They
just
they do
don't.
they do a subpar job, like most do. I mean, not every dealership, of
Well,
course,
because
but
the
like,
problem is, back in the day, they used to hire really good mechanics. They used to have like ASE certified mechanics, and or whatever the equivalent of ASE was back then. I don't know
Mhm.
if it was still back then, but they used to have like really highly certified mechanics that would like they would pay really really well. Now, unfortunately, they're just the pay is just kind of going, and so everyone's going to the aftermarket scene. Like some really good mechanics, most of them work at Lambs now, or like
yeah.
Firestone or something like that. Because actually, funny story about this. I don't know if you know about this, but about 60% of major big brand mechanic shops are now owned by one company.
No kidding. I didn't hear about this.
I think it's like Firestone, Lambs, Midas. There's a bunch of them. Interstate Battery.
Right.
Um, all of them are like owned by one company, and that company just jacked up pay, which is really
Really?
good. Yeah,
Okay.
which is really good for the employees, but at the same time, it's just like so. I mean, there's been a lot of walkouts on dealerships. There was one. Oh, I can pull this up actually. There was a Mercedes-Benz dealer that basically was underpaying its employees, and there was a
Really?
mass walkout. Yeah.
Dude, every mechanic I know that has gotten their started at dealership, if they're really good, they end up going independent.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems like entry level mechanics work at dealerships, and then when they actually get good at their job, they go and either start their own mechanic shop or they get hired by someone else that's well established. And you would think that would be the opposite, right? You would think the absolute subject matter experts would be at the dealerships, but it just doesn't.
Oh, so here we go. Auto technicians at Mercedes-Benz of San Diego go on strike for a machinists union. So at least 36 union workers picketing at front of dealership at Kearney Mesa. At least 3 dozen union auto technicians at the Mercedes-Benz of San Diego dealership in Kearney Mesa have walked off the job amid faltering contract talks. The dealership management, which is one of 146 operations across the country in the Penske Automotive Group, says it has offered master and certified level technicians a massive increase in their pay, but the workers' union accuses Mercedes-Benz of negotiating in bad faith. They're enforcing rules that were never rules before, said Pedro Gomez, a technician at the dealership. We feel it was in turn to try to intimidate us so we would take a lesser deal. Interesting.
Well, I mean, well, there you go. That's the Penske group. That's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that article, I don't know. I don't know how much I would trust that article, because if it's anything dealing with unions, like, I don't know. I don't trust unions, but
Oh, no, I don't technically either. But no, I actually, funny enough, saw this on TikTok first. From one of the mechanics walking out, which was kind of interesting.
well, good for them, man.
But
Like, yeah, if you don't like your job, you don't think you're getting paid enough, like, yeah, leave.
Yeah, but at the same
But
time, it sounds like they're kind of just whining at that one. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. It's always suspect whenever the union's involved, because if you're talking about like contract negotiations between a company and a union, it's just a bunch of underhanded dealings on both sides usually. And
Oh, yeah.
usually the workers are the ones who they pretend that they get what they need, but they're probably getting screwed. But
Pretty much.
yeah, man, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, like, I think if like manufacturers take control over dealerships, I think that would actually be really good. It's going to be good and bad though, because at the same time they're going to be setting the prices and probably not negotiating. Some people who've gotten used to being able to negotiate, like, okay, like, I know you need to make money over here, but you're making too much money over here, so like, let's even these things out so we can both get to a deal we can agree on. It's like a whole thing that you have to do with dealerships now. But once more corporate control takes over, like, that's going to go away, and it's just going to be like whatever the
it's
price
weird
says that's the price.
It's weird. I would have expected this out of Saturn in 2008, but like, it's Mercedes-Benz. Like, guys, you guys already make way more money than you need to. Like, just give these employees what they want, and like, it's not worth
with the service
pure
rates.
nightmare.
I mean, service rates are out of control
Insane.
too. I mean, yeah. It's crazy to me that a dealership will bill you twice what an independent will bill you, and you're not getting any better level of service at the
Oh no,
dealership.
God, no.
Yeah, no,
No,
not at
and,
all.
and honest to God, most of the time, and the problem is these guys do these all day long, which does get, but at the same time, it's not your car. It's not their car. It's somebody else's car, so they don't really care anymore. It's like, it's just why I wish that like the dealerships would focus more on service and less on pushing cars. Like pushing cars should be like the side thing at this point. Give them like I understand they have to make money on that, but they're not going to make that much. They're going to make more money on service than they would on the cars anyways if they didn't charge these stupid interest rates and stupid markups as we've talked about before.
And it's definitely behoove the manufacturers to clamp down on service also, because service directly relates to how reliable your vehicles are perceived. Like you could actually have a perfectly reliable vehicle, but if a bad technician gets a hold of it and starts screwing things up and doing like a poor job on just like regular maintenance, then that is going to start to be perceived as an unreliable vehicle. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I do know that there are some manufacturers that increase and decrease dealer incentives based on service. Toyota is like one of them. I don't really know like what Toyota is doing currently, but I do know in the past, like if a
Like
dealership,
after that whole GR86 controversy,
Oh,
they're
yeah,
probably
I know,
reforming
right?
some of that.
yeah, I don't know. But in the past, like if dealerships started getting bad service reviews, they would yank their incentives,
Yeah.
and then they wouldn't be making money selling cars. So it was definitely important for them to do a good job. And I think Porsche does that too. Porsche, for whatever reason, seems to have the best dealership service department.
They do, and they definitely charge you for it.
Yeah, they charge you for it for sure. But
Oh my gosh, yeah, like just getting like an oil change, it's like a $300-$400 adventure at a Porsche dealership. It's like,
yeah, well, I
I
mean,
think I could do an oil change on a Porsche myself.
you can blame some of that on the engineers too. Like they don't necessarily make it easy
I
like they
do-
used to. But
I love Porsche. I do find some of their way that they do their pricing hilarious though. Like their weight reduction package, they charge an extra like $8,000 when
Yeah.
they legitimately do nothing but just remove parts.
right,
They remove things out of the interior and unbolt them, and they don't. It's not like they're modifying the chassis. They just remove some of the stuff out of the interior, paneling and some sound deadening and that kind of stuff, and call it weight reduction and
that's an
charge you
interesting
more for
point
it.
of like how are they actually assembling the vehicles? Is this like in a vehicle that gets like assembled and like going down the line, and then they have to like send it to a separate place to like remove the things that they already put on? Is that why it costs more?
I'm assuming that it's either like done at the dealership as like an option, or because I'd imagine they could just use those parts in another car. Why not?
I don't think the dealers don't do it. Like it's shipped. Like whenever you buy like a GT3 or whatever, that's like all
Oh yeah, well
all
GT3
stripped
that's
out.
that's
It's
limited
already,
production. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are insane.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'd love to go drive a GT3. Just give me a day on Lime Creek, man, on with a GT3, and I'd have some fun.
Yeah. for
Probably
sure,
put it
man.
into a tree because those are insane cars. But like at least a lot of modern sports cars, like I consider myself an above average driver, but at the same time, a lot of modern sports cars kind of save you from yourself. The GT3 is kind of just straight up, no, it'll kill you with a smile on its German face.
Right. Yeah.
Just
That's
go,
good.
Avita Zen as you go off the cliff.
We still need cars like that. We still need cars
Yes, we
that,
do. That's why I always love the Viper, dude.
Yeah.
The Viper's only safe, like the Viper in the 90s. Dude, the original ACR, the only, or whatever the equivalent of ACR was back then, the only safety features was your fear of death.
right.
Because it had no airbags, no stability control, no traction control, no ABS, none of that. It was just pure 8.4 liter V10 stick shift rear wheel drive with massive power and massive tire.
Yeah, I love it. That's great.
I miss those cars. Oy vey.
Well, speaking about crazy cars, like you were telling me they've dropped a new Type R.
Yes, they did.
Can we check that
here,
out?
I'll share my screen. Hold on.
Yeah.
So it's actually not bad looking.
Is it just
I like
me,
the
or
fact that
does
they cleaned it up.
Yeah, this actually looks like more toned down than the SI, right?
Well, I think that they got some flack for how many ridiculous amount of rear spoilers the old one had.
Hmm.
Like, if you look at the hold on, if you look at like the 2017 version of it and whatnot, so like there's a spoiler, there's a spoiler, there's a spoiler,
Right. Yeah.
there's a spoil like there's a wing, there's a wing, there's a wing, there's a. I think that they realized that it was a little bit silly, and
Yeah.
so
It's
they
very
went with a
silly.
much simpler style, which I actually like.
No, I like
I
that a
think it
lot.
looks pretty gorgeous, honestly.
Yeah, that's actually a much better looking car to me. Like
Yes.
I don't like all the extra stuff on it,
And
and I
it's
bet you
subtle.
what,
Like
like
there's a little fender thing right
go back
here.
to the
There's like
front.
a nice little one.
Go back to
Yeah.
the front view. So look at the grill on that thing. All of that is functional, correct?
Yes, it is. There's an
Looks like it.
intercooler right there.
Yeah, and like the little side vent, like that's probably for the brakes.
Let me see if there's a straight-on view. Here we go. I'm
Oh,
not sure if
look at
that's
that.
functional. That might be.
The like up there where the Type R badge is at, you can see it goes through right there too.
Oh yeah,
So
there's a little intercooler right there. Yeah, that's cool.
that's awesome. So this thing is actually functional. Like the all the vents on it are functional. You know, that's
Oh
that's
yeah,
one of the
look at
things
that.
I absolutely hate.
That actually hood
Oh,
vent
wow.
actually goes through. Yeah, look at that.
That's nice.
Look at that. Looks like an actual possible brake cooling duct and whatnot. Not a bad looking car, man. I am not a huge fan of the triple exhaust, but it is unique. I'll give them that.
Yeah, that's just a
And it
what
looks
is
like
that?
it's a stick.
Yeah, I see 3 pedals down there. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. Ooh, it's got all the G-force meters and everything like that. All the tech spec out. I do like these seats.
Those are very nice
good
seats.
looking seats, man.
I
Oh,
wonder
why are
how
they showing
functional
us 70? Why are they showing us 75 different things from the navigation?
yeah, you know, people like their gadgets now. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Like, yeah,
Like
I'm not.
that's a pretty gorgeous setup, though.
It
It's
is.
simple too.
It's clean.
Like it's not. There isn't like a giant screen right here in the middle. I like the fact that it's up here. I see where they got that from. They took that from the 124 Spider.
Yeah, basically,
Doesn't the
yeah.
124 Spider's infotainment system sit up there?
Yeah, and the Mazda, yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same on there. I like that a lot better.
To me,
It's more in your line of sight.
to me, it looks kind of like tacked on. Like, I think it would be really cool if like that could be hidden away and it just pops out like when you want it.
Yeah.
Because I don't really like those screens like that. Like, just imagine that dash if that like slid inside.
Oh, I know.
That would
be
look that would look
gorgeous.
so clean. Like it would like that would actually be like really good looking.
Yeah,
But-
good looking interior though. Overall, though, like
It is.
I like these vent. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think Koenigsegg's gonna sue someone.
Oh yeah, very similar vent design.
Uh, very similar, almost exactly the same. Like actually, there's what I was looking for, right there.
Yeah, it's it's a little bit like it.
That's funny. It's almost an identical design there. I was like, where have I seen that? No, yeah, that's cool though. I dig it.
I'm definitely digging it. Like I'm not very big on Hondas, but I'm liking this better than what I've seen from them
Yeah,
recently.
so this is going to be making 315 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty nice for a Civic.
Yeah, nice.
That's nice.
I wonder how it's going to stack up to like the GR Corolla.
Well, it'll be interesting that and like the 400Z, the new 400Z, and like the Mustangs. So speaking of that, by the way, or actually, hold on, let's take a look at this real quick. Oh, that's a gorgeous looking engine bay.
Let's scroll back up real quick. Like it says it's coming with scroll up a little bit more. Yeah, it's coming with Motion PS4s, 4Ss.
That's nice.
Wow, yeah.
It's got a lighter flywheel too, and retuned rev matching. That's fun.
I hope you can turn that off. I like to do my own rev matching. That's
Yeah, exactly.
that's like most of the fun.
Exactly. Oh, there you go. But no, also coming out now, is there people were talking about the new Z versus the Mustang. And no, we're not going to talk about the dealership markups. We already talked about that last week. Watch that episode.
Which Mustang are they comparing it to, though?
This looks like the Mach 1, not the electric one,
Right. Yeah.
although this looks like a picture of a Mach 1. I'm not sure what they're technically comparing it to. So
Well, it just
this
says
is an interesting
the
comparison
5.0,
because,
just the regular 5.0.
yeah, this is actually an interesting comparison because both of them make a similar amount of power, I believe. Yeah, they're very actually relatively close on power to weight ratio. They're both rear-wheel drive. They're both stick shift. They're both two-door coupes.
The Mustang's making a lot more torque,
Oh yeah, no,
which
definitely it's going
which
to.
is interesting because
It's about
isn't
70
the Mustang
pounds
is still
more.
naturally aspirated, right?
Yes.
I kind of actually expect the turbo engine to make more torque, but there it is.
Yeah.
Small turbos, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's only about 70 pounds more torque and it only makes about 60 more horsepower. But I'm interested to see the weight difference and whatnot between these three. So right now, the new Z, they're actually calling it the Z RZ34. That's what it
cool.
looks like, because it's an evolution of the Z34 chassis, which was the 370Z, I believe.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad.
Oh wait, no, that is
Z
never mind. No wait, no, that is the 370Z. My bad, I misread this. So they're still just calling it the new Z. I'm sure they'll have a designation for it eventually. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, it makes 68 more horsepower than the 370 and about 50 more than the Nismo version. That's impressive.
Yeah, what are the weights on these things, though? I mean, the
Let's
Mustang's
take a
larger.
look. Oh, yeah, 100%. Let's see. Let's see. So they both have the same transmission, or they're both similar. So actually, the Z has actually a better 0 to 60. But the Mustang still comes out on the quarter mile.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, here we go. So, wait, this is a terrible compare. Oh, here we go. So it's about a 400-pound difference, give or take.
Like a 300. Yeah, 300-pound difference.
Yeah, 3,600 versus... Oh, actually, wow. On the performance manual version of the Z and the manual version of the GT... It's only about a 300-pound difference.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And the automatic weighs... Wow, the automatic only weighs like 3 pounds more? Or 7 pounds more? That's impressive.
Yeah, automatic transmissions have gotten pretty compact these days, but still.
Yeah, and on the skid, let's see here. Wow, really? Holy crap. The Mustang was actually able to pull a higher skid G-force on the skid pad and on the figure 8.
What's the wheel size or like tire size? Does the Mustang just have more tire? Is that why?
It might, but at the same time, the Z should have... The whole point of the Z is it's supposed to be a more handling car. Huh.
Yeah, it's hard to look at these numbers and draw like a very fair conclusion, though, because I don't know, just because it pulls a little bit more on the skid pad, that doesn't necessarily mean it handles better, right?
Like 100%.
Handling is, how it feels when you're tossing it around, or like when you're over the limit, like whenever you're introducing precise amounts of slip that you want, let's say.
Oh yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see like an actual video of these things driving around with each other and kind of going back and forth. But
these numbers also don't tell you, how the weight transfer feels. And, some cars, they transfer weight slowly, others like fast, and just how it settles in like into the turns and whatnot. And you don't really get any of that from these numbers. You have to, I don't think there's any way to empirically state that either. Like you have to get someone who you trust to drive them and see how they go, see how they rate them.
Interesting. Actually, we skipped a story. California being freaking stupid.
Yeah, so what is it, by 2035 there's going to be no electric car, or I mean no
no, it was
sale.
like more than that. I think they were saying they want no gas cars by like 20, or hold on. Okay, I have it right here. I'm
pretty sure it's 2035. No more gasoline engine cars for sale in California.
Ban on new sale of new fossil fuels in the state by 2035. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the ramp up beginning as soon as 2026. You're
what's
funny, California.
what's really great about that is just a few days after that, the governor issued like some sort of warning to everyone, like, hey, please don't charge your electric cars. The electric grid can't handle it.
Brilliant.
So I don't know, like California is kind of like known for their rolling brownouts and blackouts and just not having enough power generation as it is. How do you expect this to work, you know?
I mean, I think at this point, California is trying to get rid of Californians because, the state does light itself on fire every couple months, but even it's kind of like, just get these people out of here. God, don't come to Texas, though. Seriously, stop coming to Texas. Or specifically, if you're going to come to Texas, the best city in Texas is Odessa. That's where you need to move to.
That's right, it is, yeah.
It is. It's 100% that or Houston. You'd love it in Houston.
You want West Texas. That's where the real Texas is.
That's where the real Texas is. Yeah.
There's
you want people spitting at your shoes.
Yeah.
You want people riding horses and spitting at your shoes and calling you racial slurs. You got to move to West Texas. Just go up to go live in El Paso. It's a very nice area.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just hilarious though. This whole thing of like California just double backing on themselves. Man, they must be hurting on tax revenue.
Well,
right now of everyone leaving.
With the car thing though, it's like it's very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because I think they're going to do this regardless of whether they're prepared for it or not. Really, if they were really wanted to prepare for this, they would need to fire up nuclear power plants, and I don't think they're going to do that. But I feel like they're going to press forward regardless, because they've done that, but in the past with CARB, and it really seems like California's policy tends to push the rest of the United States a little bit. So it's going to be real interesting to see how this plays out. It's also going to be interesting to see what it does to gas stations, right? Like what's going to happen?
Yeah, no kidding.
Whenever they ban the sale of gasoline powered cars at first, there's still going to be like tons of them out there, right? But it's only going to be
that's the thing. I wonder, are they going to ban people from driving gas cars in the state? Because
no, that's not what they're talking about doing. That's not what they're talking about.
Yeah, but will it go that way? That's the question.
I mean, it might. I
doubt it.
They did do that with trucks, Like they've effectively banned like any older tractor trailer from coming into the state. Yeah. So and that's horribly impacted shipping. A lot of the supply chain issues.
No, I remember I was talking to a buddy of mine who works with that system, and basically what they're doing is they're paying guys like hand over fist money to just drive into California, pick something up, and drive it to Nevada. Like, it's insane, the markups. Yeah. I'm like, shoot, I should just go get my CDC. Go do that.
It's like, well, the problem with that is you have to buy a new truck. You can't go get like a 15-year-old truck to do it in, because if you did, like they're not letting you into the ports. So
that's stupid. I'm like, why?
So I mean, there is the potential that they're just going to straight out ban gasoline powered cars, but I kind of don't think they will. California does still have a car culture, so they don't want to upset enthusiasts too much, I don't think. But at the same time, 5 years, like by 2040, most normies are going to be driving electric cars because they just wouldn't have bought a gasoline powered car within like the last like 5 years, right?
Oh yeah. Well, what's really funny, I'm actually going to find out this state because sometime the beginning of next year for a special event, I'm not going to talk about it yet because it's not finalized yet, but I'm going to be driving out to California.
Okay.
In my Eclipse.
Nice.
Which, for those who don't know, my Eclipse pretty much has no exhaust system whatsoever. It at 4,000 RPM, it'll probably be around 20 decibels, give or take. And beyond that, it's higher. I have no idea how high, but it's loud. And I like it loud because why? If you can't be fast, why not be loud? Slow and loud. No, it's not that slow, but it's still fun. But that would be really funny if I got pulled over. They're just like, your car can't be that loud. Excuse me, Texas plates.
Yeah, they'll still give you a ticket. I guarantee
really?
They'll still give you a ticket. Yeah. I mean, it's up to like whoever's out there enforcing it, of course. But yeah, I can totally see, like, depending on where you're going, like you'll get a ticket for it for
Oh, I'll
no
just go
problem.
right through Hollywood. Just
Yeah.
go right through there and just give it and just be like, "Sir, I was going for fourth and I accidentally went for second and downshifted." Like, oopsie daisy.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm concerned about like gas stations, right? Because once it gets to the point where the majority of people have electric cars, what's going to happen to the gas station? Like, is it even going to be profitable? Like at first, I think the price will go down because demand's going down, and that's going to look glorious, right? And be like, yeah, like all you normies get your EVs, and like us enthusiasts, we can have cheap gas, right? But that's
Yeah,
not going to
right.
last long. That's not going to last long at all because eventually, at some point, it's going to flip, and it will not at all be profitable for a gas station to even exist.
Oh
And
yeah.
and that's concerning. That's concerning.
Sorry. Ugh.
What was that?
No, it's just like, oof. Throat was just like coughing up. But yeah, no, it's gonna be well unless they converted them to EV stations. But
Well, yeah, but then they won't carry gas. I mean,
yeah.
that's the thing. The
Well,
gas.
let's be fair. Also, most gas stations make their money off of snacks and stuff like that. Are you talking about like the station or the actual pumps?
Well, I guess yeah, the both. I mean, gas stations do make their money off of the stuff they sell inside, right?
Yeah,
But
like they do make a little bit of money off the gas, but it's not much.
yeah, right.
Like I don't think it's really as much as people think. I'm pretty sure they mostly make it off of people going inside and getting like, slushy candy and soda and junk
Yeah,
food
but
and stuff.
at some point, the maintenance costs on like maintaining pumps and having to maintain like both like a charging station and like a pumping.
Oh, I know.
Like they're gonna just be like, yeah, it's not really worth it to maintain this gas pump anymore. So I'm just gonna get rid of
Yeah.
it. It's gonna be interesting, very
It'll be
interesting.
interesting for sure.
Hope some of you guys start distilling alcohol to run your cars on.
Dude, I'm about to start distilling corn and convert my stuff to E85.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, I mean, it does burn cleaner. I don't know why do
It's
more
corrosive as
E85
hell.
stuff.
It's
It is
corrosive.
corrosive.
It's
That's the
extremely
problem.
corrosive. Like you should go check out some of Project Farm's videos that he's done, where he's like, taking a look at various fuels. And
Love Project Farm.
I know
Man.
I swear he's like my favorite YouTuber. He just
No,
really
yeah,
is.
like Linus Tech Tips, he just designed a screwdriver, and he spent like the past 3 years designing the screwdriver. It's like the ultimate screwdriver, and he was going to send 2 copies to Project Farm
Oh, that's
to
cool.
use, and he said, "Nope, I'm going to buy them."
Oh, that's
like-
nice. That's cool.
Yeah, he literally just said
Yeah.
like, "Nope, I'm going to buy them myself," and he's
Yeah,
like, "Okay."
He doesn't want to be biased in any sort of way.
No,
So,
yeah, he doesn't,
Cool,
and that's
cool
and,
dude.
I'm cool, dude. No, yeah, if y'all ever check him out, he's a really cool channel, Project Farm. He tests like everything.
Yep, love it. Yeah, I mean
Okay.
that's the biggest problem with alcohol is it's just so corrosive, and also it you can do it small scale like for yourself, but like there's no way to scale it up.
Well, I know
It's-
Porsche's developing with another company synthetic fuel,
Yeah,
which
there's-
I'm excited for that. That would be cool. Which is supposed to be like almost carbon neutral, or
Right.
like
Yeah, it's supposed to
that'd
be
be
carbon
cool.
neutral. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it may be a way that they can get around, European regulations and keep their cars. But, I also feel like it's going to be a premium thing, and not very many people are going to be able to afford that.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I mean, if they can get it mass production, we'll see. That'd be cool. But
Yeah.
who knows? I mean, at this point, I'm surprised that the like oil companies aren't looking more into this. Like, if your main, like, okay, if you're Shell or your Exxon or your Texaco or anything like that, and your main is for a vehicle that's about to be outdated, or it's
Well,
for a vehicle that's about to be obsolete.
I think Shell
essentially,
is working with Porsche. I think they're the ones who are like helping develop the.
I'm surprised the rest of them aren't doing it though. Like, wouldn't you, like, sorry.
I mean, here's the thing. Like
you see the
gasoline,
market changing right in front of you. You see it
Gasoline might
changing
go
right
away.
in front of you.
gasoline might go away, but like diesel is never going to go away. I mean, there's just no
Oh,
way.
yeah.
You can't have like long haul electric. It just doesn't work.
But you really think
right?
the oil companies aren't going to give up that big of a market share? Or that
don't
big
know.
of a profit puppy? I mean,
I don't even know how much of a profit margin gasoline is for them, because I mean, petroleum is like a huge array of products. I mean, you're not going to get rid of oil and gas. Like, you just aren't. Like, there's no way. Like, tanker ships and like airplanes use more petroleum products than like all privately owned cars, you know? So I mean, like trains, like everything, like you can't get rid of the infrastructure. There's just no way to do it.
So saying if they really want to make an impact, get rid of cruise ships.
Right? Yeah.
No, like cruise ships burn more gas or put more carbon monoxide into the air than pretty much like all cars do. It's insane. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way you shouldn't be able to convert a cruise ship to electric power, or even like a cargo ship to electric power.
You make them nuclear.
Admiral, we have found a nuclear vessel.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Let's get the lowest bidder. Let's let the lowest bidder contract company handle your brilliant idea. I can see the headlines now. Cruise ship accidentally hits bridge and ignites, causing thermonuclear detonation.
No, I mean they're not that dangerous. I mean,
I don't know. Ask Chernobyl.
It's just like, you know, well, I don't know. Like all the major carriers are all nuclear powered now. Like, of course, submarines have been nuclear powered for a long time. Like they're
Except for, you know what the difference is between an aircraft carrier and a car? An aircraft carrier is run by technicians trained there and military. Well, I'm not going to say military grade, because if anyone actually knows what military grade is, it means it was subject out to the lowest bidder.
Right.
But they train their people pretty intensively. I don't know if I would power in private hands to an extent.
Oh, I'm all about it. And like if people are serious about going EV, like they're going to have to start spinning up nuke plants all over the place. That's really the only way to do it.
Let's just coat the desert. There's so much space in West Texas. Let's just put solar panels everywhere.
Right.
I mean, Texas could become the biggest producer of EV with the amount of desert.
Transport's like the hardest thing to deal with, because I mean there's already like tons of windmills out there that are capable of generating tons of power, but transporting it to where the power actually gets used is difficult. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's like lots of challenges to overcome.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, you got anything else?
No, I got one other little thing that's coming up. Next weekend is Italian Car Fest in Grapevine, and I'll be at Italian Car Fest. So if you guys are in the Dallas area, swing by. It's always a good time. Come say hi and everything.
When's that happening?
It's the 10th, Saturday. Isn't that Saturday? Yeah. So
that sounds cool.
Yeah, like I think they start letting the public in. It's a free show, you know. So if you have to pay to register your car, but
you think I can't register my Mitsubishi Eclipse into the Italian car show?
I don't think there's an Italian connection there. They do have a pretty broad definition.
I mean, they were both in the Axis power. They were both in the Axis powers in World War II. You know,
right? Yeah.
There's got to be some influence in there somewhere.
But yeah, no, I think they open up the show to the public at 10 a.m. and I think it goes till about like 3 o'clock or something like that. So yeah, so come by, say hi. It's a fantastic show. Other than that, that's all.
Sorry, this was a later upload, guys. We've both just been kind of busy. But make sure to like, share, subscribe for next week's episode and whatnot. But other than that, though, we will see y'all later.
Yeah, see you guys. Bye.